We're gonna go back with number 2. This is part 6 of I Am Part of the Problem. I was gonna make a separate video about black on black crime, but then I realized something. That would be pointless, being that this initially came from the I Am Part of the Problem video section. And so now we're on a higher number. I wanna zone in. Alright, so when I showed you guys the video of the racist stuff from wherever the hell I got it from on Instagram, you know, let's see if I can find the son of a bitch again, which I'm sure I can't, but you know. See if anybody actually answered my question. Definitely hit the wrong button. Okay, nobody answered my question, but I am going to go back up to this video. I'm going to play this video.
What's your issue with everybody here?
My issue with everyone here is I think that they are racist.
I think everybody's racist.
Okay.
All these people around us are...
Now let's go forwarding to here.
No. You know why? Because a lot of those were kids, and if kids don't matter to you, we can't talk about nothing, homie. 200,000 people died, including kids. 200,000 people. 6 per... Are you kidding me? Including kids. No, he did not. Wait. So when you had Cuomo, do you understand how the country works, right? You know, the mayor goes from mayor to governor, right? So when Cuomo ordered sick people back to that number by 1/3 of the death in New York is on Cuomo's head. Do you acknowledge that or no? Do you know? Wait. Do you acknowledge that or no? No, I don't care about that.
But do you acknowledge that we're part of the problem?
We're done. You care about semantics that don't do shit.
I'm just making sure. What's going on? Cowboys?
No. He goes, why didn't you condemn it at the debate?
Those are the tokens, by the way.
That matters to him. There's dead people. No, there's dead
You
people
guys are
out there.
tokens.
It's
Saying that to
me
you,
too.
yeah, you too. You guys are tokens.
Semantics. Real people die on the street because of this dumb shit. Real kids get shot in the face because of this dumb shit. And you're worried about how many things says. Stop.
Okay, so this fella here, real kids down the streets. Yeah, I guess that's the guy. Okay, one, you're raising these real kids down the street. You, me, and every other person of color. You are raising these young black kids that are dying on the streets. So before you point at this guy here, that guy right there in the little mask or whatever, before you go pointing to him, who's probably also raising some of these black kids on the street that are killing each other and finding guns, have we really taken a deep dive into how we are raising children today? Have we as black people in general, because generally black kids killing black kids and stuff like that, you don't really hear too many about white kids killing white kids unless it's like Johnny found a gun in Bobby's room and accidentally discharged it and killed Bobby. You know, and where did Bobby find the gun? Oh, it was his dad's gun, and it wasn't packed up in nope, that ain't it. In a gun case. You know, but the kid had no business going into the parents' room and getting into this shit in the first place, because if you put it in a place where someone can find it, you better believe that a kid would find it before anybody else. Because that's what kids do. They find shit. But let's take responsibility. Let's admit that we are part of the problem as adults. Okay? I cuss a lot. I admit that. I'm working on that problem. I probably swear so bad that Jesus is spinning around in circles up there. But I own it. I swear a lot. I cuss a lot. I've been working on it. In the films that I'm making, I'm limiting the swearing as much as possible. Doing the best I can to fix my mouth. I'm owning that. I'm acknowledging that. But I don't go around telling kids that it's cool to thug out. It's cool to jump people. It's cool to fight people. It's cool to beat up a guy who's darker than me. It's cool to beat up a guy who's lighter than me. It's cool to be the top dog on the black color wheel because I'm the badass. I don't go around teaching that. Are you monitoring what your kids are watching? Are you explaining to them that real life consequences happen when you are a badass? Are you letting them know that every action that you take, good or bad, can still have a consequence? You know, are we acknowledging that? Are we pointing that out to the children as we complain about our kids killing our other kids? Are we pointing out the fact that black on black crime is a thing? And why is black on black crime a thing? Because it's systemic racism that has made us hate ourselves so bad that, I'm not going to help you get ahead of me because you're this color and I'm that color. And Tommy Boy is this color. So we're both not going to let Tommy Boy be successful because he's the darker one of the three of us. So if we wipe out Tommy Boy, all that leaves is us. Well, Tommy Boy, on the other hand, is thinking the same thing because this is how we are raising our children. So this guy's jumping on this guy's ass about black on black crime and things and Black Matters not going to Chicago. He's on point there. But is he addressing the real issue, which is us? Damn Black Lives Matters. Damn all life matters. If you're not addressing the problem at home, the problem is going to grow. Because kids get 3 different environments that they have to deal with. Which is part of my homework assignment, actually. You have your life environment, where everyone in your immediate circle, in your family, in your house, they know who you truly are. Where you put on a front at work so that you behave respectfully and professionally. So you have your professional personality. Did you have to have your professional personality because you like getting paid and you want to keep your damn job? Get away from my damn door. Don't be sorry. Get away from the door. If you're really sorry, you wouldn't be there after I told y'all to get away from the door like 90 times. Here's my personality. At home, the real me. Case in point. My lights are on. That means that I'm doing stuff that people should be respectful and quiet for. Now, if I was in a professional setting, like in the Zoom class, I probably would have tried to say that a hell of a lot nicer than what I just said. Like, please get away from the door instead of get away from the damn door. So that the people on the other end of my professional setting would not think that I was just being a dick. Not that they could not hear all the noise in the background, which is perfect for this video because that just gave you a perfect example of how much I need to work on my mouth. Point taken. Now you can see that I'm not a liar. I swear a lot, and I need to work on that. I don't care if I'm talking to an adult or a child. I cuss more often than I should. I am ashamed of that fact. I'm working on that fact. I'm doing what I can to fix that fact. But these young men are arguing over shit. But they weren't arguing over the real point. The point of the video was the man with the curly hair was trying to say that everybody who was following Trump was a racist. I completely concur. Now the reason why I completely concur, okay, with the exception of those 3 or 4 tokens in the video, let me count them out. Okay, there's 4 tokens in this video. For those who don't know what tokens mean, this is a black term, which basically means it came out with Not Another Teen movie. If you haven't seen that, then you should probably go get it. It's a pretty funny movie. Well, in this party, there's 2 black guys. One black guy is the token, and he's supposed to always be there. The other black guy is not the token, and he's not supposed to be there. So a black on black argument assumes and says, "Hey man, what you doing here? I'm supposed to be here." No, I'm the token in this film. Beat rocks. Go watch it. Not Another Teen movie. It's a comedy. It's funny as hell. It has that little skit of racism in it with the tokens. Alright? And then if you watch cartoons like South Park, you have the token black guy. Well, Chef was the original token. All of a sudden, they had a kid in there named Token, who was the token black kid. It's just that simple. Not to be mistaken with J.R.L.L. Tolkien, the guy who wrote Lord of the Rings. But I probably didn't say his name right, which I would never gotten right anyway. But the point of the matter is that these tokens are bringing up black on black violence, which brought me to this video. Which brings me back to where we are now. I am part of the problem. But we are all part of the problem because we're not looking for a solution. We're not looking for a way to teach our kids not to kill each other. We're not teaching our kids as black people that fight it out. Take that loss. No, we're teaching them to be punk bitches that if you get your ass kicked, now you gotta go get a gun and shoot the guy that whooped your ass so that he can't whoop your ass again. So, why are you guys mad? You're mad about people not showing up. You're mad at Black Lives Matters not showing up to intervene in this black on black crime because Black Lives Matter. Well, here's that thing about that. If they matter so much to you, why are you not also helping the situation? I have black nephews, darker than me, because we're mixed, but they look more black than I do. So, I have to tell them, cop's not going to pull you over the same way he's going to pull me over. I'm a short guy, 5'3.5". I'm very, very light-skinned. In fact, I'm so light-skinned that they're not even sure if I'm black. So, they're not just going to come up to me and say, hey boy, first, unless it's a down-home redneck country boy. They're just going to be like, hey boy, you know how fast you were going? But a lot of cops don't know what the fuck I am. They're like, excuse me, sir. I've had maybe 5 excuse me sirs and maybe 4 to 5 hey boys. Alright? So it's about even out. But for my nephews and them who are taller and darker, it'll be a lot more hey boys instead of excuse me sirs. I've also had a few excuse me ma'ams. So, you know, keep it real. But the thing is that a lot of the reason that there is black on black crime because black homes aren't sitting down with their kids and telling them, yo, you gotta do better. We're not doing that. We're not teaching our kids how to fight. We're teaching our kids how to be cowards and shoot people. Because it's easy for me to shoot you and kill you and not deal with consequences until the cops finally figured out it was me. By then I've made it to 20 years old, so you're not going to know it was me. And after a certain age, you know, it's pretty much cut and dry law that if I committed a crime when I was 17, it depends on the severity of the crime and the state law and the city law on what they're going to try me as. Many of the kids have been tried as adults because they thought that they were going to get away with, what the hell? Sorry, I thought it was another bow and arrow. Anyway, many of the kids have gotten away with murder from being tried at 12 and 13. And there have been many kids who they have made an example of for murder, who are all black, by the way, tried as adults and will never see the light of day because they fucked up. And how did they fuck up? Because instead of having enough strength to just take that beating and get up and heal and have everybody laugh in their face, yeah, you got your ass beat, you got your ass beat. Versus, yeah, I killed that motherfucker. He ain't never gonna beat me up no more. Well, here's that thing about that. If I get my ass beat and I get a rematch, I'm okay with that. If I lose both times, I'm okay with that. If I get my ass beat and he and everybody on the planet is laughing in my face, it's fueling me to go get a gun, to get revenge. But the thing with cowards is that a coward is a coward. Yeah, there's that. But you know, the thing is, if we're not going to teach our children, it's okay to lose a fight. It's okay. It is fine to lose a fight. It is fine. But remember what happens when they're sore losers. If you're raising a sore loser, that sore loser is going to get up and go get a gun and shoot the guy who whooped his ass. It happens all the time. But it generally only happens in the black community because blacks have black pride and we are ashamed of getting our asses kicked. So, if I'm going to get my ass kicked in, you're going to laugh in my face. I'm going to go shoot that guy who beat my ass. Then I'm going to come shoot you for laughing in my face because we're not teaching our kids that's not how it should be done. We're teaching them that's exactly how it's done. That's right, man. That motherfucker beat your ass. You shot him and then you shot that motherfucker that laughed at you. That's what we do. Yeah, that's why there's so many black on black crimes. Because we're raising a bunch of cowards, punks, and pussies who can't fight. Who's all about the gun. All about gun life. I got 6 guns on my hip. I walk in this place, I'll shoot up the tip. What you accomplish? You kill people. Probably mostly innocent people. Trying to aim at the right target isn't always a thing. So if I can't kill the one guy I'm looking for, I'll just kill them all. Da, 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 da. We're raising them. Yes, you and me and everybody in the universe, they don't think that, hey, put some gloves on. Settle in the ring. Let's go have a WWE match. Let's settle in the ring. Let's settle in the UFC. Let's settle this shit like men used to settle this shit before guns was the thing. Back when the very first weapon that ever existed was a fucking rock. That's right. Cain bludgeoned Abel with a rock. The very first weapon ever used in history was a rock. David killed Goliath with a rock. Sticks became part of that rock. Now you have a spear. But prior to that, we fought with these things right here. And as long as we're teaching our kids it's okay to go get a gun, shoot that motherfucker that beat my ass. Shoot his brother. Shoot his sister. Shoot everybody who's done something to me. And this is why we have so much black on black crime. And you want to know why Black Lives Matter haven't come to Chicago. Because the black members in Black Lives Matters, they know. They're probably scared as fuck. We don't want to go to Chirac so we can get shot trying to save our own people who don't want to save themselves. So, how's that working for you? Are you not paying attention? Because see, when we are part of the problem, it's the only way that we can become part of the solution. And if you don't want to admit that you're part of the problem, then you will never be part of the solution. I am part of the problem. My videos, the first 5 of these things, was about Trump and racism. This video that I just showed you, same video I started in video number 1, was about Trump and racism. And tokens. Because tokens are a thing. Now, you look at the expression on this guy's face. And that guy, and that guy. There's a third guy behind him who gets to waving his hand and shit. But none of these guys want to hear what this guy has to say. What's that mean? We are part of the problem. Because see, when you don't listen, and you don't hear what someone is telling you, you sadly become part of the problem. If you don't acknowledge that you are part of the problem will continue to grow. And if the problem continues to grow, you can't solve the problem if you keep feeding the fuel of the fire to the flame that's already burning. So, why is it burning? Why is this happening? Because we, the people, are the problem. We are the cause of the problem, and we refuse to be the solution because no one wants to take a knee. No one wants to acknowledge the truth. No one wants to sit there and say, well, I'm following Donald Trump because I like his racist rhetoric. And if you're white and you say that, people are going to say, oh, well, damn, Sammy, I didn't know you were a racist. And their other white friends are going to judge them and say, yeah, wow, Sammy, you're actually a racist. Have you not seen what this guy is saying? The fact that Sammy might not be a racist. He might have a black wife. But he's following Trump because Trump helps his wallet. His business skyrocketed when Trump got in. Sammy might not be a racist. He might not like the shit that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth. But he loves how his wallet's growing. But we're not hearing that because we're seeing Sammy's skin being white. Same with these tokens, who I'm going to be biased about real quickly. If you're black or Asian and you're following Trump, you technically can be considered a reverse racist. But that's only in my opinion. Doesn't make it true. It's just my opinion. Doesn't make it not true when you sit here and say that Trump isn't saying racist shit when we have news clipping of him telling an Asian reporter to go ex-China. Now see, if she wasn't Chinese, that probably still would have been insulting. But the fact that she was actually Chinese and from Virginia, it's kind of a double slap in the face. Because she's Chinese. Go ex-China. He didn't say that to the white lady. He didn't say to the black man, but to the Chinese lady. First, I apologize for our president, because he'll never do it. But I also apologize for the United States of America and the flag of Old Glory. If you guys aren't racist, what's with the upside down flags of Old Glory? What's with the fact that you reverse racists, which are you black tokens in this video? Why are you not listening to yourselves? You want to complain about black on black crime, but you're not in those black homes. Are you going to Chicago to talk to these young black youth? Are you? I don't have money, but I can tell you what. You help me get famous enough on Instagram where I don't have to work anymore and I can put the time in to go to these places out of fear I'm going to get shot. I'll go. I don't have to go with Black Lives Matter. I can probably get somebody in Chicago to set me up in a theater with some security so that we can have a seminar on improving the lives of colored kids. Do you think that shit's gonna happen? Hell no. I can tell you right now how many people I got on Instagram. I have approximately 511 followers, but I follow 5,045 people. I have 209 posts. I have about twice as that many on Facebook. Not that I know how to find the followers on Facebook, because I'm so rarely on Facebook. But, you know I have such and such amount of people on Facebook. No. I can't define how many times I have asked the people from Facebook to go to my YouTube channel, in which I specifically only have 103 followers, specifically, as of last week. Now, all of that can change here on YouTube today. Today, this video, or all 6 of them, could be the video that says everybody's gonna fucking jump up and leave me because I spit the truth. No. And if you don't like the truth, again, this isn't the channel for you. Because when I do martial arts, it's cool. When I do truth, not so much. But we are all the problem. Not just y'all, not just me. We, as in all of us, are the problem. Because all of us refuse to acknowledge the fact that we are causing this problem. We are supporting a man who, hands down, could care 2 shits about the things that fly out of his mouth, but the shock value is there, so we're going to follow that shit. Versus the lack of responsibility that lots of people don't tend to want to be responsible for. Despite the fact that other things go on and we don't take responsibility. The guy was in here on this video yelling and screaming about Black Lives Matters in Chicago and all the kids that are not being tended to. But while you're out here supporting this racist president, are you going to go back to the places in which you mentioned and put a stop to the shit that you speak? Are you going to go and talk to the young kids of color about how important it is for them to stand up for themselves but not take a life in the process? Are you going to do that? Or are you not? Because I'd like to know. Because see, we can all dream and talk and do everything that we say we would like to do. I like to be a superstar. I've been working in acting for 20 years. Nobody's paid a lick of attention to my ass. So, do I give up? Do I keep fighting? I'm going to keep fighting. Because the fight's not over until it's over. But at the same time, there's times when I'm looking at these videos and I just want to fucking quit. Like, straight up, I want to quit. But I refuse to quit because quitting is not in my nature. But for these life matter movements and all this stuff, all life matters. How you choose to live your life is the definition. You know, if you choose to be a racist, be a racist. But don't hide that shit. Be honest about it. Because I like knowing where I stand. See, I can work with a racist at work and don't have to say 2 shits to him when we clock out. When we clock out, I go my way, he go his way, no problem. Unless when we clock out, he says, yeah, I hate you, you sweatback motherfucker. Well, guess who just got hit in the face? Wasn't me. I was the one on the receiving end of an insult. Now he's on the receiving end of an assault. As in, I assaulted his ass with my foot to his ass. So, therefore. But while we're on the clock, I'll be the nicest, how you doing, sir? What's going on, sir? And he'll be the nicest, how you doing, sir? What's going on, sir? But as soon as we clock out and we get off the property, the first thing that comes out of his mouth racist is the last thing that's going to come out of his mouth while he still has teeth in it. Because I intend on knocking his teeth down his throat. Whether he's black or white, if he's saying some shit to me that's racist. Because yes, I've been disrespected by black people all the time. Hey, half-breed. I think that's a good enough excuse to knock somebody's teeth out their mouth. Calling me a half-breed. Works for me. Because you would know me to be a racist man and come out my mouth and say something versus your ethnicity. You really wouldn't. No. People claim that shit's okay. No, it's not. But if we're not raising our kids to solve the problem, but we're teaching our kids that guns solve the problem, what have we done? Have we fixed anything? No. So why are we complaining when we can get on a video with one man of color and yell about all the kids in Chicago while you're in New York following a racist president, but you're not going to Chicago to make a fucking difference? I'm in Virginia. I don't have a reach out prayer. I don't have anything. But my nephews, I can teach them, because everything starts at home. I can teach them it's not okay to be racist. I can teach them it's not okay to go out and get a gun, to go beat somebody's ass. It's not okay either, but it's better that you go beat them up than you kill them. And on the other side of that track, if you're the guy on the receiving end of the ass whooping, what did you do to get that ass whooping? What did you let fly out your mouth, or whose hands did you put on somebody? Did you attempt to do something and not acknowledge that you did it? Did you spit on him? Did you push him? Did you shove him? Did you say something about his mom? Because you probably did if you got this ass whooping from somebody who probably wouldn't bother you had you just left them the hell alone. Which is another thing as I end this video. The best way to fix a problem is to start at home and acknowledge and teach our children right from wrong. If we teach our children right from wrong from the jump, instead of teaching them that thugging is cool, that doing all this bad black shit is the shit, then maybe, just maybe, I'm just saying, maybe, just maybe, you would have so much black on black crime if there were more fathers and mothers in the home that stayed off of drugs, that stayed off of alcohol, that stayed off of fucking the streets, that actually should have thought before having kids and getting this shit together, instead of falling into the lines of, we're going to be the statistic typical black people, I'm going to have 10 kids by chicks that I don't want, and they're going to be on welfare instead of getting a job, and I'm going to be in jail because I couldn't get a job, because I didn't pay child support. See, these things right here is what leads to all that shit right there. So, rule number 1. You don't want a kid with a girl, use a condom. Hell, use 2. Rule number 2, in case you have a kid with a girl, be a man. Stand up. Do your fucking job. Don't do that kid the way you were done where, oh, well, my dad was never in my life. That's your dad's excuse. What's yours? Well, if I'd have kept my dick in my pocket, or if I would have kept my condoms on, I wouldn't be in this situation, especially if you have a baby with a woman that you had no intention of having a baby with, you just wanted that ass. But if we're not teaching our boys and girls right from the jump, we can't blame anybody but ourselves. This is why there's black on black crime. And everybody's going to watch this video and say, James, you're a hypocrite. You're a backstabber. You're a reverse racist. Yep. If that's what you want to call me, I can't change your mind. But then ask yourself, am I lying? I came from a broken home. But here's the difference maker. My dad got me every summer, except for the 2 that he didn't have a job, and the 1 where he moved from Smithfield to Richmond, and I was still in high school. Now let me break it down for you, because in the 4th grade, I had started a second term of the 4th grade because I had failed. I had a chance to go live with my father. But the problem was, in the school in Smithfield, for some dumbass reason, I guess because that city was full of powerful white people who were probably more on the hickey side than the city slicker side, and it was a small ass town, decided, well, James, if your son comes to Smithfield, even though he just finished the 4th grade for a second time, he's going to have to go to the 4th grade a 3rd time. And I wouldn't have graduated from school until I was 21 years old. Okay? And that was not going to happen. I don't want to be a 21-year-old high school student. I know I'm dumb, but damn, I don't plan on being that damn dumb. But that was what they wanted. And I told my dad, I said, nope, there's no way in hell I'm going to the 4th grade a 3rd year. Especially when I guaranteed passed the 5th grade in my hometown versus go live with my dad and take a 4th grade for the 3rd year. You see, I was born 73, started school in like 77, I think. I don't know when the hell I started school. Kindergarten was a long time ago. But 8, 9 in the 4th grade, 10 or 11 in the 5th grade, depending on where your birthday falls. Because some people don't even get to start school until they're 6 years old. I started in school when I was 5 and bloody. But, you know, your birthday really does decide on when you guys go to school. And then they didn't have a 4-year-old program. They didn't have Head Starts and all that other shit they got now. So coming through the 70s and 80s, failing was a bad thing. And I had failed the 4th grade. So I wasn't going to graduate until I was damn near 20. It's as simple as that. I didn't want to go until I was going to be damn near 21 and be in high school with these kids. And they're like, why are you 20 years old in school with us? Because I failed 4th grade. I moved to my dad's hometown. They made me go to the 4th grade again, even though I passed in my hometown, which means I should have been in the 5th grade. And that's how bad my luck is. So my dad, he came from a broken home. But him and his brothers have done really well with their daughters and sons. My Uncle Robert Henry did everything for his daughters, and he was a military man. My Uncle Bruce did for his son and his daughter. And they were there. My dad was there for me and my big sister, and my 2 brothers, you know, from another mother. But the fact of the matter was, he did the daddy thing. He didn't push us to the side and say, fuck y'all, y'all ain't mine, I ain't dealing with the shit. Where he said his dad, on the other hand, his dad never really did much for them, but his dad literally bought a water gun for a white child instead of his own children. So, you see where I'm going with that. If we don't teach our kids right from the jump, from birth, if our dads or our parents in general are not involved in our life, what do you expect? But yet you want to go to New York and bitch about the shit that's going on in Chicago, but you're not going to Chicago to make a difference. You're just going to yell at some dude with curly hair because you feel that he shouldn't be at a Trump rally talking about the racist shit. But yet, here you are trying to convert the whole conversation from that shit to Black Lives Matter ain't going to Chicago. Well, here's you stabbing yourself in the foot because your ass isn't in Chicago. So how can you jump down him and Black Lives Matter if you're not there yourself trying to make a difference? It's just easy for us to say shit. Just like it's easy for me to make this video and say the shit that I'm saying. It's harder for us to actually put boots to ass and go do what we're saying versus what you're seeing here. So I'm not going to make any more videos after that. That's why this video is going to be the longest video in this whole series. The final video is part 6. It is the last of this. I am part of the problem. But see, here's the thing. In each one of these videos, for the most part, I have acknowledged, me, James Williams Jr., has acknowledged that I am also part of this problem. Every video I made to contradict or comprehend or show y'all the other side of the track of the Trump supporters only feeds the Trump supporters, you know. So this is why I hadn't really made videos that are political, because political videos will destroy my channel for sure, but it also tells the truth. And the thing about the truth is nobody really wants to hear the truth until it slaps them in the face. You know, nobody. So how do we fix this problem? How do I stop being part of the problem? How do I become part of the solution? This is the question that we have to ask ourselves when it comes down to people talking about Black Lives Matter not doing shit in Chicago while thousands of children are killing themselves and they're all black. Well, where are the black men? Where are the black men and women in the situations to guide the young black people to stop killing themselves? We are part of the problem if we are not intervening in that shit. If we can go to another state and say, well, this is happening here, and this is happening there, and this is happening there, but we are not there in the thick of it trying to help them out, but we can count on the statistics. What have we done? We haven't had any part of being the solution. We have become a bigger part of the problem by just acknowledging that we know this shit's happening, but we are not going to engage and do this shit. And then the first thing this dude does, he jumped down Black Lives Matter for not going to Chicago. But aren't you technically doing the same thing because you're in New York at a Trump rally? Instead of putting that energy that you put into yelling at this curly-haired man's face, into maybe I should go to Chicago. Maybe I need to be in Chicago and try to make a difference. Because if you're not living in New York and Chicago is your home, then that's probably where you need to be. Where are the celebrities that should be in Chicago pitching youth activities to young Chicago people of color? Because I'm an actor. I'm not an actor that you know of. The only way you know me is here, unless you're on my Instagram or my Twitter. But as far as me making movies, you've seen nothing that I've done. Unless you come to Kung Fu Havoc number 2 or Kung Fu Havoc number 1. And clearly I'm not the actor that I would like to be. But that doesn't make me any less an actor. But what I don't have is the resources, like other celebrities, like the guys that's doing Empire, that's filmed in Chicago, that could be reaching out to the young youth of America, of colored kids, and fixing this problem. But they're not doing that, are they? And even my boy Steve Harvey, who was working in Chicago, wasn't doing that. So if the celebrities aren't jumping in to help the youth of America, and the citizen that I'm mentioning that's the token in this Trump rally isn't jumping up to do things to help the youth of Black America, no one else is going to do it either. Which, in the end of this, makes me part of the problem. It makes you part of the problem. Because it doesn't take much for us to get behind a video camera and say some shit. And maybe it'll ring in. Maybe it won't come out. Maybe it'll acknowledge, it'll boil around and fester up in there and you might learn something. But actions speak louder than words. I said that I'm going to make a Scarlet Spider fan film. That costume right there doesn't just hang on that wall. I literally get in it and go film. I need to edit it and put the movie together. I have 3 fight scenes left. Well, 2 fight scenes left actually. And 2 final scenes. I can do that this weekend if it doesn't rain. And I can finish this thing and put it together and put it up here on my YouTube channel. God willing, I can figure out how to get the goddamn computer to work. But what else is there? I'm doing what I said. Yeah. Got my Nameless Ones mask. Got the costume. I'm doing what I said I'm going to do. The movie is going to be a clusterfuck. But that does not change the fact that I'm making the film. See, putting my actions into my words. Where these young men arguing over Black Lives Matter. Everybody's racist. Nobody's going to Chicago. Okay? Well, in the time that you sent arguing with that young man of curly hair about how thousands or hundreds of thousands of young black kids are killing hundreds of thousands of young black kids, that shit ain't got nothing to do with Trump. He damn sure ain't doing nothing about that shit. He doesn't give a damn about them. But apparently, neither any of you tokens, they're out here cheering on this guy talking about the Chinese virus. Kung Flu. But that doesn't sound racist to you. Which doesn't mean you're not part of the problem. Because you're celebrating this racist rhetoric that comes out this dude's mouth. But you're not part of the problem. I'm part of the problem because everything I just said in this video feeds you, which feeds him, which leads him right down, I'm going to be your next presidency again road. Because a lot of us are like this. I can't see the forest from the trees, but I'm standing in the middle of the forest. I can hear all the racist shit that's going on back and forth. I can see all the racist shit that's going on back and forth. But I choose to put my shutters on and my earplugs. So it's like this. Thumbs in the ear, eyes over here. And so if you ignore what you see, even if it's true, you're being part of the problem. You may not like what I'm saying. I am part of the problem. I fully acknowledge that I am part of the problem. Making these 6 videos is part of the problem. Because they're counter videos to a person that I didn't vote for. I voted for Biden because I couldn't vote for Warren. When we were doing the nominee voting, I voted for Warren. All damn day I voted for Warren. Just like I said in the other videos. I voted for Hillary. Both times. When she went against Obama, when she went against Trump. She didn't win. I can cry and complain all I want, but it doesn't change the fact that she didn't win. So I voted for Biden because Elizabeth Warren stepped out. All we had left was Biden because Bernie Sanders stepped out. Once they conceded, Biden was all we had. So I wasn't going to vote for Bernie anyway, but I was going to vote for Elizabeth Warren. The second that she came up on a candidacy, I was going to vote for her. Oh, I know what you're thinking. Why didn't you vote for Kamala Harris? Okay, so Kamala Harris, I love you, but I'm going to say this. She is part black and part Indian, the kind with the dots. I'm not that kind of Indian. I'm not giving her my support because of that. I just didn't want her in because when I looked at Elizabeth Warren, her 1/16% Native American blood, and I looked at Kamala Harris, who's half black and half Indian. I'm multicultural too. I'm Cherokee Indian, black and white. And I thought to myself that all my Native American ancestors right now, up in the heavens with the Great Spirit, dancing around the fire, are looking down and saying, it's kind of a fucked up situation that we were in, where everyone who's running the country was never fucking born there, and have no native blood. So I thought to myself, I'm going to vote for Elizabeth Warren, because 1/16% of Native American blood is better than no Native American blood. We had Barack Obama. His mama was white. His daddy was black. We have Kamala Harris. Her mother was Indian from India. The dots, not the feathers. Her father was black. I have no disrespect for neither one of them, because just like them, I am mixed too. We are what America was meant to be. A melting pot of people who could love and have religion and the freedoms they want. But nobody counted on the dark side of freedom, which is responsibility, which no one get, and I got that quote from Mass Effect. The dark side of freedom is responsibility. And no one wants to take responsibility for the simple fact that freedom comes with a lot of hate, not love. It comes with a lot of hate. And when you think about it, alright, racism built this country. Period. Native Americans fought, lost, put on reservations. Africans sold Africans into slavery. Slaveries were also caught and on a boat over here. Oh, don't worry. I'm going to the indentured servants now. There were white slaves. People don't understand that. For some reason, history keeps forgetting you guys that were white slaves, that were indentured servants, who I will be your slave for 5 years if you pay my ticket over to America. And they get on the boat, they get to America, because they didn't have planes. Next thing you know, the indentured servant's been raped 4 or 5 times before she even turns 14. By the person who she was trying to go to America to find a better life. She gets pregnant, he forces her to marry her. Now he has her kids. Now he's got his friends fucking his slave while he's married to a whole nother girl. So the indentured white servants, Chid, yes, it has happened. White indentured servants have been raped, have been pregnant, have had to give up their kids. Their kids have been sold, all kinds of shit. So it didn't just happen to blacks. And also, fun fact, Native Americans also had slaves. So when you look at it all together, we have to acknowledge that we are all part of the problem. Because no one wants to take a knee to the face of racism. No one wants to acknowledge the shit that's going on. And no one really cares. And as long as you don't acknowledge it or give a damn, then it's never going to change. So as I close out, I want you to understand. I acknowledge that I'm part of the problem. Do you acknowledge that you are also part of the problem? And when you can't acknowledge that, thank you.